Hello. Now finish my lining. As you see, I used it the appropriate thread for my coat, which is my is black thread. As you see, it's all attached. I took all the tucking out and looks really nice and neat. And see that, so and there. So if I just go through, that's the back. Yeah, so I leave the center back tucked, and then I done all this little back stitch. Will actually looks very nice, and at the same time that's a perfect. See that, and it's also see that, and that's lays actually it allows the lining lays flat as well. In some way it's kind of like works as the iron as well, because it folds and presses the actual seam. So yeah, very nice. And now it's a good time to actually to press that areas with your where you hand stitched your lining, but you have to be extremely careful when you do that, so it doesn't create any more creasing on another side of your coat. So it's very, very important that you do, if you do press very, very carefully. Okay, after when you've done your slip stitch your lining or back stitch lining like I've done, then next step would be is, oh, by the way, sorry, I forgot to tell you, is when you've done your vent, I forgot to tell you that you need to slip stitch the edge of that vent. So please do that. This is the good timing to do that. And so yeah, so please do slip stitch there so it's nice and flat, and press that with that, so ready to attach to another side of your coat. Okay, so when you've done that, so the next part would be is attaching your shoulders. So it's very exciting because now it's all became, instead of flat, it start to get to put together, and it will be more as a free deal. So now we've got 5 centimeter seam allowance, unless of course at the fitting you've done some kind of alterations and you used your seam allowance and you changed it, then you need to re-tuck your new line of seam allowance. But in this case, we didn't have any changes, all the fittings was perfect, so we're just going to attach our seam allowance as they are. So you need to, from the front, this is your front and this is your back. So you move all your canvases out of the way, so you reveal only the seam allowance at your front shoulder, and then you have the linings at the back of your shoulder. So we keep the linings together, so they would be applied, attached together, and that way the lining here will be secured as I was previously mentioned. So you put the right side with the right side. You also have to remember that your your back shoulder is 1 centimeter bigger, longer. So you should, you need to ease that centimeter. Pin it first by following your markings. It's probably easy for me to do that so I can see better. So, so just flipped over. So I'm going to pin it from the front instead of from the back, so I can see my 5 centimeters seam allowance. So I'm going to match my seam allowance with the seam allowance of your back. So it's very important. You also you match your neckline seam allowance. So yeah, so you are marking your neckline, and of course your armhole. So that's together, and I pin that. So yeah, so makes sense. And then I pin that side, which is you need the shoulder seam allowance plus your armhole. So that, things like that. So just be careful with your linen, because sometimes if you pin it, it can pull. So make sure it lays flat. So pin that together. So pin each side first, and now that's extra fabric here on the shoulder, so you can distribute that evenly. So pin that together first. I will definitely pin it first before you machine it, especially with so many fabrics together, like linen tape. You don't want that to be caught. And again, if it's easy for you to tack first, you do that. You tack it first. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to check, make sure it's nothing is interfering here. So I need to repull that line there. So make sure it's all nice on that side. Put a couple of pins here to hold a bit. Okay. So I'm going to, I will advise you to tack your shoulder, and I'm going to tack my shoulder because of the extra easiness in there. So it's some way it's quite important that it holds together. So I'm matching my seam allowance. Something you have to be careful. That's why I also tack. Even with my experience, is you don't want to stretch your shoulder and ended up doing, unpicking and packing again. So, perfect. So just going to check, make sure everything is how it should be. There we go. So that's tacked again that side, so nothing being attached what's not supposed to be attached. So I'm just going to open that shoulder here, and you can see that's, sorry, just to close, you can see that. Absolutely perfect. So you can see straight away, you can see was extra fabric on around your back area. That's the front. So that's extra fabric, which is I actually eased evenly along the shoulder. So my matching neckline and the arm, the matching seam with the ankle. Perfect. Ready to machine. So I'm going to machine it, and I will show you the final result and how to press your seam allowance in the next video. Bye.